Thanks everyone for attending, and welcome to the second in the webinar in our technical series. So today Michael will cover the basics of products. Thank you, Michael.
All right, so I'll go ahead and share my screen. This is pretty low on slides today. A lot of it's going to be just hands-on, straight in the org, playing around because, well, frankly, that's how I roll. I like just doing it live and getting in there and showing you what's happening and how it's working. So you'll have to forgive me because my screen is there and you're here. So I'll be looking this way for most of the webinar, but we'll dive into it and we'll go from there. All right, so first off, again, I just want to mention our certification program. So that is up on our website now, and I'll actually show that in a minute when I go over there. But it gets you set up as a StoreConnect administrator. We are trialing this right now, and we're getting people to get through what's currently there. We're going through and adding more help documents and adding some formatting to it and making it a lot nicer. And eventually we'll move it onto a learning management platform, hopefully by next week. But we definitely want you to get certified, and doing the steps in that certification program means that you will get to know really what I'm going about and going over today, and give you more questions that you can ask and learn about. So yeah, get in there, get into it, and give us feedback. Obviously, I mean, we'll help you. If you've run across something that you don't know how to do and there's no clear help doc, contact us, support@getstoreconnect.com, and we'll get a help doc written especially for you and fix that up. All right, so today we're going to talk about products. Now, obviously, products is a pretty important thing for an e-commerce store to sell. If you don't have any products, then you're not really selling anything. So in StoreConnect lingo, a product is anything that you sell online. So it could be a service, it could be an hourly consultation, it could be a course, it could be a booking of a 1-hour slot with your sales consultant, or it could be an actual product. It could be a pair of shoes. It could be a pair of shoes in multiple colors and multiple sizes. It could be a bundle of products. So you could have a bike with a couple of choices of helmet and a couple of choices of shoe, but you have to choose one of each to be able to check that out. All of those are products collectively. On top of that, each of those variants or bundles would have sub-products within them. So I'm going to go over all of those today and just give you a broad understanding of how all that hangs together and the price books and so forth. So the key thing about StoreConnect is it really leverages the Salesforce product model and price books and price book entries, as well as CPQ. So we're the only e-commerce platform in the world that does anything with CPQ on the e-commerce side. And what this means for you as a consultant, or as someone who's running a StoreConnect store, obviously, is that you have one source of truth. So you can just go in and you can edit that single source of truth. And now it's correct for your Salesforce team, like your internal sales team, as well as your external website. So this is a super key thing within StoreConnect. And as a partner, when you're installing StoreConnect for your customers, it's really the #1 thing that you need to keep in mind, is that you want to end up in a situation where you have a single source of truth. You don't want to be making your customers sign into, Salesforce plus Zendesk plus HubSpot plus whatever else they need to sign into to get access to their platform. You want them only logging into that one area and being able to see everything they need to see without having to, log into multiple things. So today we're going to go over these broad categories. I might mix it up a little bit and go back and forth and left and right. But by the end of this, you'll have some good idea around what products are, how you can make sure a product is visible on the website, and what to do if it's not visible, like you can't buy it or it doesn't even appear at all, things like this. What all the product page content is and how you can edit that within Salesforce, leveraging the content blocks webinar that we gave 2 weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that, it's on our YouTube channel. You can put a question in, Virginia will send you the link. How to update search information for Google, Facebook, SEO, all of that sort of data. What sort of product types there are, your basic product, plus also subscription and booking products. Price books and price entries. So how do you set the price on a product? How do you make it a variable price? How do you have a price that allows you to select from a list of prices? That sort of thing. How do you even hide the price so that you're not allowed to buy it unless you're a member, and then you sign in and then the price appears, and outside of that it says price on application. We've got master variants in terms of, you know, having say a shoe, small, medium, large, red, green, blue. How would you set that up? CPQ product options. How do we do bundles and that sort of thing? Related products, product taxes, content blocks, and traits. That's a lot to get through in the next hour, so it will be very rapid fire. This is obviously just an introduction. Some of those could be a half-hour webinar just in themselves. So first off, I'm going to just dive straight into product fields. And to do that, I'm just going to switch my screen around a little bit. And we'll do this. Alrighty. Good. So first off, we've got, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. Stop sharing. Sorry about this, just 1 second. And we'll share this screen. There we go, good. Now I can look at you at the same time. Much better. Okay, good. And of course, as usual in these webinars, very interactive. If you have any questions, throw them in the Q&A panel inside of Zoom. If you put them in the chat, I might miss them if there's lots of people chatting. So throw it into the Q&A section, and then I'll be sure to be able to see it, and we'll make sure it gets answered in this call. All right, so this should be familiar to you. This is the StoreConnect performance dashboard. And right here, you can see we're referring to products by volume. So each of these is a product. We could go through and look at one of these products and get into it and do whatever we wanted in it. So if we go and had a look at this personal trainer, we could go search for that. And there's the personal trainer program that we could pull up as a product. We could also pull up one of the bikes or one of the other products on the site. So we'll go across to the StoreConnect demo site. And this is where all of our demo products are listed. And just to begin with, we'll go to a product that has a master variant relationship. So this is a product here. It's got a master variant relationship. We've got sneakers here. The item number is 1001. So if we come over here and search for that, you'll see that it pulls up those sneakers, and there it is. So we can open up that sneaker, and you can see actually just here that we've got lots of items with the product code 1001. That's probably not the best situation to be in. This is obviously a demo store, so it's not the end of the world, but we could go in and change that right in here, straight on the product code, and we can set that to sneakers as a master product, something like that. And in a minute or two, that will update the website and we'll be good to go. So the first thing you'll notice on this sneakers page is we've selected and we've put up this bit of information right here. And this is on the master product, right? So you can see in the slug up the top, we're in the master product. So if we go back to this page and we search for that, you can see that there's the slug that is being shown on this website. And this has to be unique per store. I'm just double checking that in my head. It's either per store or per installation. It might be actually per installation. But you've got that slug right there. We can confirm if it's unique per store. In fact, this is how you would find out. If you were in that situation, you weren't sure, you'd go to our documentation website, you scroll right to the bottom, go to the full listing of objects types. You'd come in here and you'd see the standard objects. You'd go into the product category page, and then you'd search for that slug. There it is. The unique slug which we use to form this product URL in the store. The value is automatically populated based on the name field, but it must be unique across all products. So there you go. It has to be unique across all products. That's fine, because if you want to show the same product across multiple stores, you can do that by just adding it to that store's product category. So the slug has to be unique, and that will be automatically populated. If you see that's got a strange number on the end, that's because if you create a product and there's already a sneakers product in there, it will just append a random value just so that it doesn't fail on your saving. You can always come and edit that later, not a problem. So we've changed this value here. And if we go over here and refresh this page, you can see that that product code's now been updated on the website. Now, this is a master with variant products, right? You've got yellow, white, and multi here, and we're on the main master product. So over here, you can see that this is set to is master true, as this is the master product. And basically what the master product means is you can't really buy the master product. The master product is a grouping product that allows you to add variants underneath it. So if we scroll down here on the right-hand side, you can see they're the variant products that we have relating to this master product. We've got the yellow, the white, and the multi. Now, perhaps we want to change that multi to make it bold product sneakers in multi as well. We can go ahead and you could change that in here if you wanted. You could click through to it. And here's our sneakers in multi product. And we'll go bold product like that, just so it looks the same. And what you'll notice is all of these variants, when I open them all. So if we look at the master product, we don't really have any media on this master product, right? There's no images here, but the product is showing all these images. So where are those images coming from? Well, they're coming from the variants. So if you look at the variant products, the multi has got those 3 images. The white one's got those 3, and the yellow's just got 1. So if the master product has no images, it's going to collect all the images up from its child products, and it's going to show them on the top page. So on this sneaker, we can go and select an image. And what you'll also see down here is we've got these titles as information on the product. So if we go back over to the bold product, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. We'll scroll down here. You can see that that is where that title's coming from, directly from that summary field. So this is Markdown and using Liquid as well. And it's also going straight into some direct HTML down here. So all of our Markdown fields support that. So we're grabbing that data and we're plugging it in here. Now, if we go and select yellow, you'll see that 2 things have happened, or multiple things have happened actually. Firstly, we can now buy it because we've selected a variant. Secondly, this has been updated to focus on this yellow product. And thirdly, the images have been reduced down to just showing the yellow product. So same with if we go to white and multi, right? This is changing each time. Now, the reason this is changing each time is because there's a value here on these products. See, there's the summary on the multi, and down here is a summary on the white, and down here is a summary on the yellow. Now, if you don't include anything in here, it's going to show the master description. So if we go ahead and edit this field here, and we take this out on the white sneakers, in a couple of minutes, it will update the server, and it will then show the multi sneaker description for that white product. Now, when you come in and you refresh, it can take a minute or 2 for this to update, and it can be a little annoying, I have to say. I mean, I do a lot of StoreConnect installations. There is a lag between what you do in Salesforce and it going live on the website. This is down to a couple of things. The first one is just how fast the synchronization is. Now, on product, it's about every minute or 2, it does a synchronization. That's a Salesforce restriction. However, we are developing a feature that will be launched later this year that should be able to reduce that down to 5 or 6 seconds, which will make everyone's life a lot happier and reduce the stress level of many people. So you can see here that this is still not quite updated yet, right? So this will take a minute. We'll come back and we'll look at that in a minute, but don't be alarmed if something hasn't updated yet on the website. It will either be the Salesforce synchronization delay, or it'll be caching on the website. So the other thing we do is every site has a cache value on how many minutes we cache the site. And that will then, that could be taking a while to expire as well. So while we're waiting for that, we can come back over here and have a look at this master detail relationship again. So again, we had this master product, and then we had all these variants. Now, these are variants as well, because if you scroll down, you'll see that it's got a master product associated with it. right? And the way this works is we're on the yellow sneaker here. So it belongs to this bold product master with the variant of color and the variant value of yellow. Now, this variant value is what's appearing here. Yeah. So if we change that to some other color, to fluoro or something, I don't know, let's change it. We'll call it yellowish and save that. That will now update in a little while, and we'll have yellowish over here. So there's that. From what we said before, the white field has now been replaced by that master field because we removed the override on the variant product. So that's another thing that generally works that way. As anything that you override on the variant, if you don't override it, it'll inherit the master and vice versa. And there you go. Now this is yellowish here. So that's how you change the categories that something would be associated with, right? Now, this is a very simple, flat 3 choices, but quite often you're going to have small, medium, large, or 5 sizes. You might also have 5 colors. In that case, you need a little bit more of a complex master variant relationship. So I'll show you what that looks like here. So this is a 3x2 variant relationship, and it's on the protein powder object. So go and search for that. And there it is. There's the master product. You can see we do have an image on this one, and we don't have any images on the variants because it's just a bottle of protein powder, although we obviously can. Now, if we go into the variants here, you'll see that there's a lot, right? Now, this is the way it is, because for each of these combinations, so the vanilla 250 monthly is a different product to the vanilla 250 one-off, which is a different product to the vanilla 500 one-off, which is a different product to vanilla 500 monthly, which is a different product to the strawberry 500 monthly, boom and boom, right? So there's a whole bunch of different choices there to allow you to really specify what it is you're creating that product for. So we just had a question then. Can you cover changing the select color above the variant choices? Do you mean over here? So you mean this wording here, right, Shane? So what that means is this is just going select and then the variant name. So if we go look in here, the variant type is here. So size, purchase option, flavor. So what you'll see on the supplements, select flavor, select size, select purchase option. So that's how that is automatically filled in according to the variant type that's here, right? So you have your variant type, and we can sort that and see all the different options that we've got for each of those. And then we have the value, and the value is what appears here. Now, there are more advanced ways to change this using our liquid and theme templates into the future. If you want to edit that further and change the word select to choose or something like that, that's completely possible. It's a translation key, and you can put that into your theme and build it out from there. And there's some help documentation around that. And if you can always just contact support and they can tell you how to do that. So you can edit it directly here inside the table. So the question was, that can be edited in the table structure. Yeah. So you can do that directly within here and change that in terms of the words. But then if you wanted to change the word select, you'd need to do that within the theme builder and put a translation key in. But as I said, we can show you how to do that. Good. So that's how we would then go ahead and select a whole bunch of different products and different pricing and have that matrix. Now, these obviously are just 2 options here. I think the record for number of variants is over 100 for one product from one of our customers at the moment. They have, multiple colors, multiple sizes, and the matrix just gets really big. Obviously, if you're dealing with that, you don't want to go and type out 100 different products. The way you'd go about doing that is you'd pick one of these existing ones and you'd go ahead and clone that product and then change the appropriate values on it. So that's what a master detail, how that works, master variant relationship. And if we go through the next major thing that you'll probably run into is how do you actually make sure it's visible on the website? So the first thing you need to do is for any product to actually appear in the list of items that you can purchase, it needs to be within a product category. And that product category needs to belong to a taxonomy, which belongs to the store. So with the category, you can see on this master product that we've got the master product here is within your product category in the bold supplements, and that's within the taxonomy of the bold theme store. And if we went to the bold theme store, it would have that taxonomy as one of the taxonomies that works with that store. So a store can have multiple taxonomies. A taxonomy is just a group of product categories. So it needs to be within the product category that belongs to that store, but none of the variants need to be in that product category, right? You could also list the variant if you wanted. So you could have the master product and then you could say, just show the strawberry flavored as another product. You could list it that way, but you don't have to if you don't want it to show up separately in search results and things like that. But when you're going to go and get a product online, there's a quick start guide here. And then within this, there is a product listing minimum requirements document. And this document tells you the minimum things you need to do in order to make a product visible on the website and every step you need to do it. So fundamentally, you need a product name. It needs to be available, which if we pop back over here is down here under stock information. So that's when the product becomes available. If that's not available, you won't be able to buy it. It must be active. So up here at the top, active, check to true. And the product must be added to a product category via the categories containing this product related list. Once you've done those four, you'll be able to see it on the website. You won't be able to buy it, but you'll be able to see it and view it in search results. Sorry, you'll be able to see it on the website. To view it in search results, you then need to make it a master. You need to give it a price book entry and a currency. And that will then allow it to show up for a search result. And then for checkout, you need to be able to add inventory or mark it as no inventory required, which I can show you. And there needs to be some sort of payment provided to be able to complete the checkout process. And that's what you need in order to get a product visible and live on the website. Caroline just asked, is it possible to create your product variants in a spreadsheet and import? Yes, absolutely. So you can use something like Data Loader to create a whole bunch of products and load that directly into Salesforce. And that's one of the reasons we're built on top of Salesforce, so that sort of thing can be done fairly simply. So you just go ahead and create a spreadsheet with all those items, you would upload it. You'd probably have to do 2 or 3 sets of uploads because you would create all the product variants first, and then you'd upload the product variant object join table. So what I mean by that is you would have this master product, then you'd create all of these variant products, and then you would do an upload of all of these in one spreadsheet with those correct IDs in the spreadsheet that you're uploading. So yes, you can definitely do it. Good. All right, how are we doing? So have I lost everyone? There's a lot on this system. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can configure, but yeah, we're getting there. So I've covered off fundamentally what are products, basic visibility on the website. I'm just showing you this here. Product page content. I'll just dive into a little bit more now. So you can see over here on the product, we have, and this is a demo store, obviously, there's a lot of things that can happen here, but we've got our specifications down the bottom. We've got warranty details here, and we've got the summary information here. Now, where that's being set is we'll go back into the yellow sneakers. And it's all being set down here. So what you can see on this sneakers tab is the best yellow sneakers money can buy, right? Which is right here. But then under the warranty, it doesn't have anything. And under the traits, it's just got, under the specification, sorry, it's just got this, right? It's got product show traits and product specification content blocks. So what this does, this is some liquid. And what it's saying is it's take this current product that we're looking at and pass it into a liquid command that shows all the content blocks that are listed as a feature content block. That's what this is doing here. So you can look over the right-hand side, you see that we've got this content block products field. So we could add a content block in here. Let's put about us text in there, right? And we can put it as position 1, and we can have that as features content here. So what that's going to do is it's going to create that content block as an associated content block that would then get injected into here. Yeah, does that make sense? So you can have as many of these content blocks as you want down this list, and they will all get injected over to here. And again, it might take a minute or two to show up, but there it is. Boom. That feature content block just appeared. And that was because it is married up against that content block on the website. So if I remove that from here, or I edit it and I'll change it from features content to support content and save that, that will then get removed in a minute or so from the features, and it will get moved over to support. And you'll notice support doesn't actually exist yet. That's because there's nothing currently in that content block. So in a minute, that will move over and we'll be able to see it. The other thing that you see is there's information in the traits section. So down here, we've got specifications, and it's pulling this trait information. So color, yellow, canvas, that sort of thing. That's coming out of here over on the right-hand side with the traits of this product. Now, what a trait is you've got trait categories, which might be power consumption or dimensions. You've got a trait type, which might be length, width, breadth, height. Then you've got a trait value, which might be 20 centimeters, 1 meter, whatever. And then you associate a trait which contains the category, value, and type to a product. And that's what shows up here, right? And any traits that you associate then end up on the website and show up in the specifications section on the store. Now, this is not a great example of that, but if we went to Sharp, who are a client of ours, and they're using StoreConnect, you can see that trait feature being used quite heavily here. So we have all of these types, trait categories, print type, supported paper, with all the different types, all the trait values in here. So we'll go color MFD, and this will limit that selection to just the ones that are able to do A3 and a color MFD and do more than 71 pages per minute, right? So this all is pulled out of that same trait information within the product and allows you to do those sorts of product comparisons. So then if we did compare those products, which is another feature of StoreConnect, you can see all of the different trait values that are associated with that product come up all together on this one page. Yep. And then if you click into one of these products, those same trait values are being shown here, broken down by category. So again, you've only had to enter that once, and you would usually do this via a spreadsheet with an upload into Salesforce, but you do it once and then it just shows up across the whole site. And that's then used for search results and all that sort of thing within the platform as well. So you can see here that that features content block is now gone, as I mentioned before, and now it's within the support tab down the bottom. But where is this warranty information coming from here? Because if we look at the product, there is no warranty information. So we look, it's just rendering the content blocks for warranty, but there's no content block over here for warranty. So where is that coming from? Well, as I mentioned before, if a variant doesn't have a value for a field, it's going to rely on its master product. So if we go into the master product here and look, it doesn't have anything in the variant in the warranty field, but it does over here have a content block, which is the warranty information that we're talking about. So that's how that gets shown. It's inheriting the content block from the parent, and that's why it's in that warranty section right there. Yeah, good. Search information, so that was product page content. Search information, If we go look at the bottom, down the bottom, we've got this search information block down the bottom. This can be updated to be what you want it to show in your merchant feeds. So by default, StoreConnect will create a sitemap, a Google merchant feed, and a Facebook catalog feed for every store that you have on your site. And if I can remember the actual URL, actually, how would I find this? If I didn't know, I would go to the search site and search for merchant, Google merchant feed. There we go. And that's what it looks like there. And that's the Facebook one. So I can just go in here, we can press that, and that's going to download a merchant feed, which just sent it down because it's an XML file, and that will get downloaded. Oops, that didn't work very well, did it? What's going on there? Well then, of course, it's a live demo and my merchant feeds are not working on my demo store, which is always good to know. So just give me 1 second and I'll show you what this looks like on another store. Good. So if we go to our main company store, for example, and download the Google merchant feed, that will download an XML file. And that's probably going to try and open that in Xcode or something crazy. So let's just pull it in here. And in this case, our StoreConnect main site doesn't have any products that it actually advertised via to Google, but it generates a Google merchant file as you would expect in there. I'll show you another one. So this is the merchant feed for one of our clients, which is a Cursed Child store. This one is a Harry Potter site. And you can see that all those items are being created automatically and nothing you have to do other than specify whether or not you want the product in the merchant feed or not. So if you didn't want that product in the merchant feed, you would turn this off here, right? You'd have that as an unchecked checkbox. If you do want it to appear, you check it in there. And the merchant feed includes pretty much everything that you can put into a merchant feed. It's got the image links, product types, shipping information, pricing, all that sort of stuff. And we automatically capture that out of your org and automatically create it. Good. Next, that's search information. So product types. I'm just aware of time, so I'm just going to pump through these. And of course, if you have questions, keep them coming. So a product can broadly be one of 3 types of products and could be just a one-off simple product. You're buying a pair of sneakers, a bike, or whatever. Or it can be a subscription product, which means it's got a monthly or annually or quarterly renewal process, which ticks through. Or it can be a bookable product. And what a bookable product is where you're booking a time slot for a product at a certain time at a certain event. If it's not a subscription or a bookable product, you just leave these 2 sections blank. So booking information and subscription information, you leave them blank. If it is a subscription product, you go and fill out the subscription information with the term and the pricing, and a bookable product, you fill out that there. So to show you what that looks like, if we look up gym membership, so this is a monthly gym membership, and you can, an annual one, sorry. So we've got, it's an evergreen, which means every year it will just keep renewing and create a new order. It's a fixed price. It's one term of 12 months. So it's an annual subscription. So you pay this gym membership, you get your gym membership for the year. At the end of the year, it's going to attempt to renew that membership and book you for another year. If we look at a spin class, which is the one on our website that looks like a bookable. So I'll show you what a bookable page looks like. So here we have bookable products with dates and availabilities against time over the whole period, right? So there's 10 available to each slot. So this allows you to book in a spin class at certain times and certain dates. You can go and search for those dates and say, I actually want to do between these 2 dates, and I can then narrow down the location to just North Sydney. And that's going to show me what's available on those 2 dates. Now this class, spin class intermediate, has a booking information here. So how many attendees does each booking have? And what that means is you might have a thing that's for couples and the attendees is 2, right? So you need 2 people to go. So that's what that's about. How long is the bookable thing? It's 25 minutes long. Is there a buffer at the end of that booking before the next booking can be made? In which case, yes, we want 5 minutes. So this would mean that every half an hour during the availability, you would be able to book a class. Is it virtual or not? Do we require the attendee details after checkout? Yes or no? And is it a restricted item? So restricted item requires an approval process before it's actually considered complete. So that's how you would do a booking information layout. And of course, we will do a webinar around bookings and go into the deep dive on it, but that's the fundamentals of how those bookings work and how those subscriptions work. Price books and price entries. This is really key, obviously. So we've got our price book here, and this is the standard price book that's showing up on the website for this product, right? So when you go and edit this price book entry, you get a lot of options. The list price, that's what's showing on the website. So it's $45. If we wanted to put this on sale, we change the sale price to $40. And we could also say you can only book one of these. You can put a quantity in there and we could hit save. Now, if we do that, that will update this spin class entry down. Now, I'm already logged in showing a discount. So if I log out, and I go back to that class, you'll see that it's still on the 45. Now, price book entries are one of those things that it takes a couple of minutes to update, and there's very little we can do about that, unfortunately. But that will update soon, and it will show up as you would expect. So if we wanted to hide this price or something, say we only want members only to be able to see it. So what we would do then is we'd go into the price book entry here, and we go members only, like that. And it doesn't matter if we left the price here or not, that would then restrict that price from being visible on this store. And then maybe what we wanted to do was we want to add it to another price book. So we could add it, sorry, not there. We would go in here and we'd add to a price book. And maybe we add it to the account tier 1 price book, which are for customers that are signed in that are qualified for us to have it. And they can have it at the $45 discount or the $40 discount. So what we now have on that product, there we are, is we now have 2 entries. We have the list price for the standard price book and account tier 1. And the standard price book wouldn't be visible for a non-member. So if we go and refresh this page soon, it'll probably show me the discount, which it's showing, and then it will update that in a minute. So Caroline asks, is scheduling price adjustment possible so all prices are adjusted and pushed through at a specific time? Yeah, they are. That's obviously in another webinar that we'll do later around scheduling. But just to give you a, actually, did you mean scheduling or did you mean subscription pricing? Scheduling, okay. Yeah, so you could do something in Salesforce which triggers an update of all those rates at any time you wanted. So you would do that within Salesforce. You or your StoreConnect partner or the Salesforce administrator you're working with would create a workflow, which then makes sure that those pricings get updated at a certain time, and then you could update all those price book entries quite happily. Does that answer your question? Yeah, good. Excellent. So now we've got these 2 products and we saw the discount appear. And in a minute, once that synchronization comes through, it'll get hidden from me because I'm not logged in and I'm not on account tier 1. So this price book could then be associated with certain accounts. So you see that there's these 2 accounts using this price book. So if you were Errol or Wayne, when you signed in, you would then be able to buy that product. But if you weren't, you would not be able to buy that product. And this is how you can do both B2B and B2C within the same StoreConnect environment without having to go back and forth and create a whole separate environment and so on. You could also do things like pay what you want. So you could select all of these and put them in. And if you did that, that allows the user to go and choose how much they want to pay for this product. You'd have to enable variable pricing as well. But that would now mean that that person could specify how much they wanted to pay for this item, you know, 10, 20, $1,000, $5,000. That's good for a donation type platform. And this organization, Vision Trust, they do something like that where they've got this donation charge. We also have our NFP StoreConnect demo store, which has a similar platform on it. So if we go into a donation from $2, you can select how much you want to donate here, or you can say other amount and put whatever you want in there. So that's where that price donation is coming in. And obviously you can set a minimum. And if you don't do the minimum, it won't let you actually do it. So in that case over here, what we've done to replicate what just happened on that website there, this would be set to a minimum of $2. And then it would look like this, where we've got these two out, and it's 20, 50, all the way up to 500, then with an other amount. So that's another way you can do that from a donation platform type thing. If you wanted to edit these values, you just do that in Salesforce. It's just a standard multi-pick list, and you can put whatever values in there you want. We just ship with these values by default, and then you can delete and add and remove as much as you want from there as well. Good. All right, let's get back to it. Master variants we already went over. CPQ product options. So what CPQ is all about is the ability to highly configure a product bundle. So you can see here we've got a bike that we're buying, and it requires you to choose from one of two options of helmet, and also choose one of two options of exceptionally expensive shoes. So we can go in here and we can choose that helmet, and it adds it. And it won't let us add it to cart until we choose at least one of these, right? We can also choose both, but you have to choose at least one to get it. Now, this can get very complex. So this is a site that uses StoreConnect, CPAP Clinic, and we go and look at some of their CPAP machines. And we'll configure this package for this ResMed. And you can see that there's a lot of things that you can choose on this. So we've got the machine, then we can choose from up to 8 different options of mask and 5 different variants in some of them, right? So all of these are included in the price, but you can go and choose all the different types of options you want. Then from the filter options, you can either add a filter or not, which adds $20 to the price. And then you can add these, which also changes the price. As you look up the top, you'll see all of that's moving through, right? And all this price is getting added. So this is a highly complex CPQ option, but everything I've just shown you is out of the box StoreConnect. If you also have CPQ in your Salesforce org. Now, you don't need CPQ for every user. You just need CPQ for StoreConnect +1 for the admin. So that's about 150 a month, I think, for basic CPQ, 75 per license, something like that. But if we go have a look at what that looks like, we'll go look for that product. There it is. And actually, that's interesting. You'll see that the name of this is different from the product name. That's because the display name's been set here. So that display name will overwrite the product name. So if you have an internal name for the product and an external name for the product, that's how you handle that. So we've seen, if we scroll down, that this belongs to 2 sets of features. So we've got our helmet and our bike shoes, and then we've got all the options that go within that feature set. And you can see here the helmet, you have a pop-up to choose, and the shoes they just listed. We could make them both pop-ups by editing this here, setting that max options to 1. And that will then restrict that to only letting you choose one option and not 2, and it will change it to be from 2 select boxes to a single pop-up box. And you'll see that in just a minute when we refresh. And again, there we go. So now that's come up. We can select the other pair if we want. And that's now limiting us to what we're allowed to purchase on the platform. Another thing you might notice up here, the categories. You can see that this is belonging to multiple products. So it's in the MTB bikes, but it's also in the bold bicycles field. So we can go into other areas. It's not even in this page, but that product category, it exists on more than one. That bike exists on more than one product category. So we can look at this and we can see which category it is and we can go and select it. Yes, you can have maximum one option. So Shane just asked, when I added the pop-up, you lost the choice of choosing the quantity. Can you have both? I'll actually have to get back on you on that. I'm pretty sure you can. It would just be a very careful combination of these. I'm pretty sure if we go down here and edit this, let me just have a look. Number, min options, max options. There is a way to do something similar to that, but if you answered support on that or asked support, they'd be able to give you some answers. Also, if that was critical to a client, we could do something called accelerated development where we'd go ahead and make that available. I don't see a major problem there. It would just be a bit of extra work to make that possible. Good. So we're going down. Next one is related products. So you'll see over on the shoes, yellow. Probably helps if I type the name. We have some related products down here. Now these are actually on the master product. So if we go into the yellow shoes over here, is it that one? Yeah, look at that. On the master product. There are those two fields that are then putting those two sweaters on there. And if we actually go to the sweater, it'll have the sneakers available. Now there's no image on that because we haven't put an image on that master product. But if we added an image to that master product, it would show up, and that's where that image would show up on the sweater. So those related product categories can be updated dynamically within Salesforce through product rules or workflows or things like that, or you can manually, of course, just manually override them. Good. Product taxes. I'm not going to get too deep into this beyond you can do it. And the way you do it is you go into, you create taxes and you set locations, which are the same as shippable locations, and you set all that up. There's a whole help article around how to do taxes. Content blocks we went over and traits we went over. Good. So now I want to show you some other things around the help website on where you would go to find more information around this. And then of course, I'm happy to answer any other questions as they come in. So keep throwing them into the chat. So first thing, the quick start to StoreConnect. If you haven't done this and you're learning StoreConnect, it's pretty critical. You should do this very soon, today or tomorrow. So this video here is 13 minutes long, and it shows every step you need to go from setting up a demo org through to creating a product, which is a hoodie in this case, through to setting up the store, creating a payment provider, and doing a live checkout on the internet, all the way through to seeing it as an order on the website and having that flow all the way through. So that gives you all the basics you need to be able to go from start all the way through to finish. So yes, very important thing. The other thing is when you start working with products, you'll see that there's all these fields, right? These are all added as part of our layout. So it's highly recommended that you just use our product layout, at least assign it to your profile so that you can start playing with it and then go ahead and work out which fields you actually want to show to your customers or their staff. We just had a question that came in around recommended products, suggested products. So we have the related products down the bottom, but I think what more you're asking is like during checkout, people also bought this or people also bought that. That is a feature that's actually under development and should be released in the next month or two. and that will actually have an upsell process. So you'll see over here, we've already sort of built this in. When you go and do a product type, you can see that it's either a cross-sell, spare parts, consumables, accessory, and there'll be a field here called upsell. And if the upsell appears there, it will then show it during the checkout as, hey, people that bought this also bought that, and a one-click add it to cart and straight back to the checkout page. So that's being created through that route. That same upsell feature will then also appear on the checkout on the cart page. So when you're looking at your cart, it will show those other recommended products underneath. Now, how that actually gets entered, every client's different. At some point, we will probably make a feature which scans through the orders and tries to marry those up and creates them. It's definitely an opportunity for a partner to get very good and innovative and create that as a little ISV package maybe on the App Exchange, because that is just creating and doing data analysis of the products and showing them as they pop up. Or it could just be done with a trigger, a once a day action that goes and finds every order and every related product and goes and creates those upsell, cross sells. You probably don't want to automate it too much because there are certain products that you want always to upsell, right? So you want to be able to hold that in place. We don't have a product viewed previously pop up, Caroline. She was asking if there's a way to view the previous products that you viewed on the store. That definitely is something that we would look to into the future as a client came along and said, hey, we really want this. How can we add it? Or add it to a history list or something like that. Another question, Caroline's on fire today. Similar to the related products piece, I see that a bit with clothing stores. Yeah, exactly, right? So having that related or upsell or, hey, you bought these pair of shoes, why not get this jewelry or this blouse or whatever that matches that color, or you could definitely do all of that, and having that sort of thing live in the store would make a lot of sense. And we're getting there. You could do that right now with StoreConnect in terms of the related products down the bottom on the product page, and you could style that appropriately. But the next feature that we're creating is having that during the checkout process. Good. So there was that quick start that I just referred to on the website. The next one's this minimum requirements to list and sell a product that I showed you before. That's also on the website, and it's in the quick start section right here. You've also got product pricing, added products categories, and adding media to products, which are also critical that you should have a look at. The final thing that I'll leave you with, because we're getting close to time, is if we go back to the documentation reference here, as a partner, this is very important for you, this full listing of all StoreConnect objects and their fields. This tells you what every field in StoreConnect that gets added does. I mean, the amount of documentation work that's gone into doing this is pretty mind-blowing, but just to give you an idea, these are all the fields we add to the account, and these are all the ones to the asset contact, adding all of those fields, lead, all the order object fields. So, if you weren't sure what the checkout step was, you can go look here. The checkout step field shows at what step the order's at. Order item, price book. So buy it now text, it's text to be displayed on the buy now buttons for products, can be overridden for individual products. This can also be overridden on a language basis using our theme editor and setting a locale for that theme and replacing that direct translation in there as well. But these object reference shows you every field that we add in StoreConnect. If it's not yet enabled, for example, like future use, you'll see it says future use, and that will be something that we add into the future. Also within that product reference is all of our custom objects. So there's a lot of those. And again, all of these have all of those fields filled in, so you know what they are. Good. That's bringing me to the end of today's webinar. And Virginia.
Great. So send us through any questions that you have after this, if you think of them after, and we'll get those answered for you. And thanks very much, everyone, for attending today. So I'll be sending out this link so that you can watch it later or share it with anybody else. And we're also making it available on our partner portal. If you don't have a login, send me a message and I'll get you logged into the system. And as you click off this webinar, a survey will appear in your browser. If you could take, it's only 3 questions. If you could take a few minutes to answer that, we just would like to find out what other webinar topics that we can cover off in our technical series so that we continue to educate our partners to install StoreConnect brilliantly. Thanks very much. And thank you, Michael. And we'll give you a couple of minutes back.
Thank you very much. See you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.